Hey, how y'all doing? In this video, we're going to be looking at John 1:1 and looking at how it proves Jesus' divinity. That is, how it proves Jesus being God. So that verse, it's in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's the verse. And later in John 1:14, it says, and the Word became manifest and dwelt among us. So the Word, the common consensus is that it is Jesus. Even from Unitarian, Trinitarian scholars, people who believe in Jesus' divinity, those who don't believe in Jesus' divinity. So we're going to read, there's a lot of debate around this verse, right? Because the way it's worded in Greek, kai in arche in logos, kai hologos in prostontion, kai theos in ologos. Let's focus on that last term, kai theos in ologos. That is, and kai theos, God, kai theos in ologos. And God was the Word, right? But then some unique grammar stuff happens in the Greek where it's and the Word was God, right? So there's a lot of debate around that because it pretty clearly proves Jesus' divinity, if that's what it's saying, and the Word was God, right? So we're going to be reading some in Eusebius's Ecclesiastical History, Book 1, Chapter 2, Paragraph 3, to prove this interpretation of John 1:1, that it proves Jesus' divinity. He says, who but the Father has thoroughly understood that light which existed before the world was? That's Jesus. That intellectual and substantial wisdom, that living Word, which in the beginning was with the Father before all creation and all production, visible and invisible, the first and only offspring of God, the prince and leader of the spiritual and immortal host of heaven, the angel of the mighty council. So he's going through names of Jesus, different titles for Jesus. And when it says the angel of the mighty council, this isn't saying that Jesus is an angel or Michael the archangel. No, in Greek, angelion, I'm pretty sure the word for angels, it just means messenger. That's why angels are always referred to as angels, because they come to deliver a message, right? So angel could just mean messenger, not, the little cherubims with the wings and whatnot. All right. The agent to execute the Father's secret will, the maker of all things with the Father. So, for the record, Eusebius, he was born in 260 AD and died in 340 AD. So this is very close to the time of Jesus, very early church father. He said, the maker of all things with the Father. This disproves Arianism, right? Arianism being the belief that the Father created all things, but Jesus was the first thing he created, and that Jesus is a created being. Yeah. Do some research on that. It's interesting. They had a whole council in Nicaea in 325 AD about it. So that's in Eusebius's lifetime. So it could be his rebuttal of that when he's writing this. He goes on to say, the second cause of the universe next to the Father, the true and only Son of the Father, and the Lord and God and King of all things created, who has received power and dominion with divinity itself. So this is his interpretation of Scripture. He's declaring Jesus is divine before the Council of Nicaea, or, it's in his lifetime, so it could have been after. But most likely it's before, because it's Book 1. But this is a very early Christian who's preaching the Trinity, pretty much, preaching that Jesus is God. He goes on to describe Jesus saying, and power and honor from the Father. All, goes on to say, new sentence, all this is evident from those more difficult passages in reference to his divinity. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by him, and without him was nothing made that was made. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a very clear indication from this very early Christian scholar that John 1:1 is a reference to Jesus' divinity. Regardless of how you want to play around with the Greek, let's rearrange the words and everything, change things around, see if it works. No, the Jehovah's Witnesses are wrong about that because they're Arians. They're wrong about that interpretation, saying, and the Word was a God with lowercase g. No, Jesus was not like a God in that sense. No, he is the God. It says, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And that's how Eusebius interpreted it. He didn't interpret it like how, the literal sentence says, and God was the Word. No, he interpreted it as, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Right, so he interpreted Jesus as being God from this passage. I'm sure I haven't finished reading this book. Y'all should read it too. But from what I've read so far, it's amazing. And I'll update you on any more amazing things found in this book. Because it is amazing how this shows the early interpretation of John 1:1 was of Jesus being divine. Have a good day. Bye.